Hey there guys, and welcome to Tasty Games. You know what I like? Cakes. Specifically the cakes in the Mario series, as well as regular cakes. But since this is a video game related show, I was thinking about all the wonderful cakes that are in Mario. And you know, I actually already did a video about a certain cake level in Mario Party for the first episode of Tasty Games that I ever did. But, you know, the more I thought about it, the more I realized there are a lot of cakes in the Mario franchise. So this is my top 6 cakes in Mario. So this is a personal list. Of course, there is no debating the fact that these top 6 cakes are the best cakes in the entire franchise that Mario has to offer. So I hope you enjoy. Number 6. As I was saying, there is a lot of cakes that are in this franchise, but for me, I have a special place in my heart from one of the Mario Party video games, where there is 2 chain chomps, a large one and a small one, and they both race to see who can eat cake the fastest. Now, it's a really simple minigame. It's luck-based, it's one of the Shy Guy ones, and pretty much the odds are either the big chain chomp is going to win most of the time, or you could take your luck with the small chain chomp, who wins almost next to never. But if the chain chomp that is the smallest wins, you get a ton of money, with odds such as having times 32 the amount of coins that you're holding. I personally just love this luck-based minigame. I normally don't like ones that you have no control on, you just kind of pick a side. But for whatever reason, this one I really liked, and I really like the look of the cake. It just looks so good. Number 5. Now this one on the list is actually the same cake that we saw in the first episode of Tasty Games, which is the entire course level in the first Mario Party that takes place on top of Peach's cake. It's ridiculous. You're small little guys walking around on top of this magical cake. It's a lot of fun. It's one of the best levels I've ever seen in a Mario Party game. It has great little things such as being able to land on one of the question mark spaces and buy a chain chomp piranha plant, being able to buy a piranha plant that will go ahead and steal stars from your enemies. It's wonderful. It's a great little level. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen my first Tasty Games episode, it's worth checking out to see what some mysterious weird stuff is going on there that really makes me love this cake. Number 4. Fourth on this list is a cake that almost every single fan of Mario knows about, and that is the cake that is on the end screen of Mario 64. The reason why it's only on this spot is because, well, everyone is aware of this cake, and it's a great little cake to look at. It's wonderful, and it's the end game reward. I mean, it is the greatest end you could have to a fun little Mario game, is this beautifully crafted cake. The reason it's not any higher on this list, though, is because there is actually, in fact, better cakes out there that really take the cake. Okay, let's move on. Number 3. This one is also well known if you're a fan of the Mario series. From Mario RPG, there is actually a boss that is a cake. It is awesome. It is also difficult. It is a magical cake that deals lots of magical damage and can beat you to a pulp until you are flour yourself. Not literally though, but it's amazing to know that this cake is alive and that you get to fight it, and there's no backstory as to why this cake is alive. It started out as just a regular, hey, let's make a cake for a wedding, and somehow it came alive. We have no idea why it came alive. We have no idea if this will ever happen again in the Mario universe, but the fact that it just spontaneously turned into a magical fighting cake is incredible to me. It's kind of like spontaneous combustion. I think that this cake just spontaneously gained magical powers, and that is that. So I don't think this is the last time we're ever going to see a magical fighting cake ever again. That's why, for now, it is number 3 on the list. Number 2. Now, this one a lot of you may actually not be aware of, but there was a comic back in the day where Mario and Luigi went on a great journey where they met Yoshi for the first time, and they went to go rescue a kidnapped Princess Peach from Bowser, who wanted to go ahead and marry her. The cake that is in this book is what really stood out to me. From all the story elements, from all the wonderful characters, this cake, I thought, was the best thing ever as a young version of myself, because I was a fan of cake, and this thing is humongous. The cake that is in this comic is so large, it is bigger than a building. It is phenomenally well built, it's got several layers, it even has these wonderful Mario-esque decorations on it, which include pipes that actually go through the cake and allow you to move around it. It's really cool. It feels like that should almost be like a mini game in some sort of Mario Party at some point. Either way, this cake will always be forever burned in my memory, and yet it only gets number 2 on the list, despite being the best cake memory I have. So let's move on. What could possibly top that? Number 1. The final cake on this list is from the show. It is the best thing ever because of how many different degrees of awesome it is. Princess Peach, of course, got kidnapped at one point. Well, Toad actually came up with the best idea ever, which is to do the classic scenario where you put a hacksaw into a cake. But when you think Mario, you never think hacksaw inside of a cake, do you? Well, now you will. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me on this episode of Tasty Games. If you have a different Mario cake that you would have liked to see on this list, just let me know in the comments below. I want to know what your guys' top lists are, because obviously mine's not the only opinion in the world. But those are my top 6, and in that order. Well, of course, I really think maybe in the future there could be another cake that takes its place. We'll have to see, because there's always a new cake around the corner. Anyway, I've been Link584, and thank you for watching this episode of Tasty Games. Don't forget to subscribe and like and all the other good stuff that you guys probably have already done by now. But we do have a playlist down below if you want to see more episodes of Tasty Games that are drastically different from this one. Take care, guys. Peace! Ouch!